Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean, and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short, so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these shit I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? How you going, Alex? Out to lunch, Kai. Your third comment, but you were second here, were you? Okay, God love you. John Paul, how you going? Deb, how you going? Who else have we got in here? You'll be lurking? Oh, you got a physio appointment. Sherry, how you going? Meg Aussie, how you going? Shannon, how you going? Who else have we got? Black Hat Music, how you going? Black Hat Music said, get on the right side of the road. Yeah, that would be hilarious, me trying to drive in America. Can you imagine it? Hogging up the left lane. George, how you going? Who else have we got? Carl, how you going? And Dealey. Did I say hello, Dealey? Okay. Anyway, let's get into the news. I can have a chat later. Jack, because there's things happening here. I've been up all night, but hey, let's keep going. Jack the Aussie said, I'm not surprised Albanese should be careful. He has his face shoved so deep in the trough he could drown in his own greed. One rule for thee and another for me. Special regulation making power. Liberal Senator Andrew Bragg expresses concern over Treasurer Jim Chalmers' power to set PM's pension tax rules. So Jim Chalmers is setting Anthony Albanese's tax rules, so maybe he doesn't have to pay tax, or very little. So, yeah, we've got King Albanese here. Well, he thinks he is. He's a legend in his own lunchtime, let me tell you that right now. Okay, open source intel. I found another Albanese. I was searching for Albanese, but I found someone else. Breaking. The Justice Department has formally requested the UN remove Francesca Albanese after revelations that she accepted thousands of dollars in gifts from pro-Hamas organisations, probably through USAID. Yeah. Dear me, that's a UN. Okay? Person. Yeah, they're all sponging off everyone. Tony Lane said just in, former Los Angeles Deputy Mayor of Public Safety Brian K. Williams is pleading guilty to orchestrating a fake bomb threat at City Hall. Used a fake Google Voice number, blamed it on fictitious anti-Israeli caller, alerted top officials in LAPD, sparked panic amid rising global tensions. He now faces up to 10 years in federal prison for the hoax. A senior city official, a staged terror threat. All for what? Should public officials face harsher penalties for abusing trust like this? Yes, they should. Okay, what's this bit? Oh, what happened there? Something went weird. Mr. Williams, the former Deputy Mayor of Public Safety for Los Angeles, not only betrayed the residents of Los Angeles by fabricating a bomb threat, but betrayed responding officers and the integrity of the office itself. Government officials are held to a heightened standard as we rely on them to safeguard the city. I'm relieved that Mr. Williams has taken responsibility for his inexplicable actions. Anything like pulling an alarm at the White House? That guy needs to be held accountable too. What was his name? I can't remember. Libs of TikTok said lawmakers in Texas are trying to rush through a bill that would ban kids from social media, but has a carve-out for Google, YouTube and TikTok. Why would those be left out? Kidsnet will now be pushed towards CCP-owned TikTok if this passes. The bill also requires ID for every social media site. Meanwhile, the App Store Accountability Act was already sent to Governor Abbott for signature, which places the burden on app stores to require age verification for explicit material. The lawmakers who were paid off by Google and TikTok will push hard for their bill. Texas, don't undo the progress you made. Wow. So even Texas is going for the under 16s or whatever it is. I don't know what the age is. Children's privacy, state law. Google and YouTube used to have an option thing that you couldn't go past, but I don't know if it required age verification. It's not a good idea, though. But then again, porn on the internet's not a great idea either. But anyway, hey, who am I? Cat Turd said President Trump posted this. Donald J. Trump said drugs coming to America from Iran. Great job by the Royal Navy UK. Thank you. Just don't reuse them, okay, guys? No recycling. Not with this stuff, okay? Looks like one of them's already been busted open over here. Okay, Benny Johnson, Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino says the truth about the J6 pipe bomber is coming. I heard something on Benny Johnson this morning that they know who it is. You need people, you need information, and you need people with information. I'll allow the public to put that together. Just wait, you'll see. Nothing we're doing is by accident. At this point, I'm going to believe it when I see it. Thank you. I don't trust anyone right now. Dear me. It's bad when you don't trust anyone, you know. How you going, Geo Loft? Good to see ya. Australian Patriots said from May 19th, motorists in South Australia must slow down to 25 kilometres per hour. That's not miles, that's kilometres, right? So kilometres is slower than miles, okay? When passing a roadside service or breakdown recovery vehicle that's pulled over with flashing amber lights or risk a fine and demerit points. Fines start at $202 and 2 demerit points for under 10 kilometres an hour, and you've got 12 demerit points, okay, over the limit, and go up to 1,684 and 7 points for speeding by more than 30 kilometres. The new road rule applies to vehicles in all lanes on multi-lane roads passing by a break. So if you're on the freeway doing 110 kilometres an hour, everyone's going to slam their brakes on to get down to 25 kilometres per hour while passing someone broken down on the side of the road. What a great idea. I mean, you don't want to cause any more accidents, do you, really? The new road rule applies to all vehicles. Yeah, I read that. Oh, my God. Look, next they're going to be having us travel everywhere at 25 kilometres per hour. They've already started taking down roads from 100 to 90, from roads that were 90 to 80, roads that were 80 to 70. Oh, they're slowly creeping this in. You should see how many different speed limits I go through just to go 25 minutes down the road. It's crazy. Okay, Jim Ferguson said Trump strikes. 50% tariff on the EU and a warning to Starmer, drill or die. In a move that's shaking the global order, President Donald Trump has slapped a 50% tariff on all EU goods starting June the 1st. No exemptions, no apologies. And to the UK, a message Starmer can't ignore. Scrap net zero, start drilling, take your energy back. This isn't a trade policy, it's an economic war declaration. What it means: the EU just got locked out of American markets overnight. Britain stands at a crossroads. Follow Brussels into decline or follow Trump into energy independence. Starmer's net zero dream already a nightmare, and Trump just lit the match. The US is protecting its industry, the EU is getting punished, Starmer is still chasing wind turbines while energy bills crush working families. This isn't climate policy, it's national suicide. And Trump just drew a line in the sand, and I hope he does it with Albanese. Drill, baby, drill, come on. Now, Jim Ferguson's come out and said Starmer's been reported for lying. British sovereignty sold, US allies sound the alarm. Keir Starmer just got reported to the UK's statistic watchdog, accused of lying to the public about the true cost of the Chagos surrender. I don't know how to pronounce this, so that's how I'm going to pronounce it. He told you it would cost $3.4 billion pounds. Experts say it's more like £30 billion, all to hand UK territory to Mauritius. This isn't foreign aid, this is a bribe in disguise. What this means: Britain gets a 99-year lease on what it already owned. So you're going to be paying even more. I get it. Yep, okay. More taxpayer dollars. Mauritius gets billions in development cash. The British taxpayer gets played again. Former Home Secretary Priti Patel calls it dodgy accounting. US insiders now questioning whether Starmer can be trusted on global security. This isn't just a rip-off, it's a sovereignty scandal, and the world is watching Britain sell its birthright. Crazy. Okay, and the British Patriot said breaking. Donald Trump has dispatched a team of 5 US officials to the UK. Their goal is to engage with activists regarding the suppression of free speech. Keir Starmer is a liar and the world knows it. They all are. Anthony Albanese can join him, along with, I'm pretty sure, what's his face in Canada? I can't even be bothered to remember the man's name. He's that forgettable. Mark Carney, that's it. Mike Bann said the UK government can't decide what it wants anymore, but its criminal speech code has become so massively built up and its enforcement so aggressively prioritised that its only de facto governing principle is that everyone, everywhere, should be arrested. Everyone needs to be arrested in the UK now. That's it. UK adds entire Hezbollah movement to terror blacklist and freezes its assets. Israel and US welcome move to call on other nations to blacklist the Iran-backed Lebanese terror group. Step follows British government decision last March. Protesters arrested after holding placard mocking Hezbollah leader. The British man was charged last September over a cartoon depicting Hassan Nasrallah, who was killed in an Israeli airstrike. Keir Starmer, if you want to live in the UK, you should speak English. That's common sense. So we're raising English language requirements across every main. Why don't I believe him?
You've alleged to say, speak English, or what's that effect? Speak clearly. Speak clearly.
No, the gentleman's partially deaf.
Yeah, he can speak clearly.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even hear him.
No, and that's fine, and that's why we've just come to speak.
Okay, the poor bloke couldn't hear someone, so they called the police saying that he said they have to speak English. And the other people that were with or around at the time said they couldn't hear the person either. That's crazy. Again, meanwhile in the UK, concerned citizens said Keir Starmer's a wanker. It's not an, it's a. Once Great Britain saw protests up and down all across the country, today people are at breaking point. They now know they're being deliberately betrayed by treasonous sellout globalist commie politicians. The British people have spoken. Look how many there are protesting. That is crazy. Go. Keep going, because it puts pressure on them. Believe it or not, you don't think it does, but it actually does. The British Patriot said breaking tomorrow at 12 p.m. every city in the UK will be flooded with British citizens, and I think that's what that was. The British will take to every city bearing flags, crosses and banners. They are demanding the removal of Keir Starmer and the Labor Party. Do you support this action? Well, hell yeah. Yes? So that was the weekend. Okay, so there you go. Let's see what happens. Might take a little while, but, you know. Alex Armstrong said screaming jihad on the streets is okay, but holding up a picture of a literal terrorist might offend Hezbollah supporters, according to police. Mad policing in the UK, We need radical change now. Talking about this on the weekend from 12 p.m. on GB News. A Jewish protester charged for mocking Hezbollah. Two-tier policing row after activists arrested for holding up a cartoon for 3 minutes at a demonstration. Wow, it shows you where they really stand. And Dr. Eli David here said congratulations to Ajit Atwal, the new mayor of Islamabad, Pakistan. Oh, sorry for the typo. He's the new mayor of Derby, UK. Good luck with that. Holy guacamole. How does this happen? I really do think you're being sold out. Wow. And he's the new mayor of Derby, UK. Wow. Why does it shock me? I have no idea anymore. Elon Musk News said just in, the Doge has officially submitted 163 members of Congress for immediate IRS audit, and 156 are reportedly Democrats. Is it finally time to follow the money? Yeah, I believe so. 163 members of Congress for immediate IRS audit. And 156 are reportedly Democrats. Well, that still means that there's 7 Republicans, doesn't it? Defiant Els said Elon Musk, America's going bankrupt extremely quickly and everyone seems to be whistling past the graveyard. That's because the financial system's about to collapse. Let's have a listen. Hang on, I've got to turn the volume down in case it's really, really loud.
America is also going bankrupt extremely quickly. And nobody seems to, everyone seems to be sort of whistling past the graveyard on this one. You know, the Defense Department budget is a very big budget, okay? It's $1 trillion a year, DoD, Intel, it's $1 trillion. And interest payments on the national debt just exceeded the Defense Department budget. They're over $1 trillion a year, just in interest, and rising. We're adding $1 trillion to our debt, which our kids and grandkids are going to have to pay somehow every 3 months, and then soon it's going to be every 2 months, and then every month, and then the only thing we'll be able to pay is interest. And if this is, it's just it's just like a person at scale that has racked up too much credit card debt, and this does not have a good ending. And so we have to reduce the spending.
Okay, there you go. I still think it's going to collapse. Ian Yeager said, breaking, Elon Musk confirms the House Republicans let him down on cutting spending. They have failed to codify any Doge cuts so far. Is it time to bring in the military yet? I don't know, I'm just asking. It's getting close, it has to be. I don't know how much more of this I can stand. No, I'm kidding. Channel Rion, OAN, said UK's Keir Starmer attempting to give away Chagos Islands of Idle. I've already read that one, haven't I? The US-UK military base in the Indian Ocean to Mauritius, a Chinese pawn. Why? Ask the Chinese judge at the UN who helped order the giveaway. Oh, no. Kosher said past few days of footage of Hamas stealing humanitarian aid and selling it back to the Palestinians. Macron, Starmer, etc. won't talk about it. The BBC won't show it. And the UN will likely blame it on Israel, and argue that 14,000 babies will die in 48 hours. I believe that's what they said too. Here's a Hindu woman in Bangladesh. The Hindus aren't safe anymore because a lot of Muslims have moved in. Where's the outrage? Where's the UN? Well, being a Hindu woman in Bangladesh is a daily death sentence, okay? Try not to... Well, there's not much going on there, just a lot of... There is, but there's not. You know what I mean. I've got to be careful. Israel Now said meet Tom Fletcher, the guy who pulled the 14,000 Palestinian babies will die in the next 48 hours line out of his butt. Out of thin air, sorry. I misread. He works for the UN. Check the tailored suit, clock the luxury car. Here's what's really going on. If Israel takes control of Gaza, they'll be pulling the plug on a decades-old money machine, the UN and UNRWA's Palestinian aid industry, and that threatens tens of thousands of cushy careers. Mind you, everything mentioned here is theory until proven fact, and everyone mentioned here is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I still can't remember to do it at the beginning. We're talking about hundreds of NGOs that exist solely to orbit this issue. Are they using Israel and Palestine? Entire UN departments, billions in yearly budgets, all hanging by a thread. It's another money laundering situation. I was right in the beginning. That's why the EU and UN bureaucracies are in full-blown panic mode. Israel's current campaign isn't just military, it's economic and institutional. It's a direct strike on the gravy train that's kept this ecosystem of aid alive. You think Hamas skimming billions was the whole story? Think bigger. It's suits, salaries, sports car, a whole class of elites fattened on this conflict. It's not about human rights, it's not about peace, it's not even about the Palestinians, it's about the money. Nothing can now be believed which is seen in the newspaper. Truth itself becomes suspicious by being put into that polluted vehicle. Thomas Jefferson. The media doesn't just report the news, it brokers narratives. Like a real estate agent selling you a house, its real job is to sell you beliefs. Not just any beliefs, the ones that benefit whoever's footing the bill, whether that's a government, a corporation, or a powerful interest group. It's not about the truth, it's about alignment, shaping public perception in ways that serve the media's true clients. These people. Look at that. Okay, how you going, Del and Paranormal Oz? Good to see you guys. Australian Patriot said we have a cost of living crisis in Australia. No, you don't say. Sorry, I'm being a smart ass. And now the globalist Marxist Albanese government is paying an additional $45 million to its masters UNWF alliance. Taxpayers' money is being wasted on a Marxist organisation who had failed the world with its handling of a certain pandemic. I shake my head in disbelief that the WHO failed upwards and has increased power since then, with its taking of member nations' health sovereignty through the Global Pandemic Treaty. See, treaties are a bad. We get Aboriginal treaties here. No, it's not good. Totally irresponsible behaviour has been exhibited by the Albanese government in funding a sinister organisation with a quest for world power, which advocates the depopulation agenda stemming from the 1968 Club of Rome. Well, this is what the majority of Australians wanted with their vote. No, look, I would agree to disagree because only 30% of Australians voted for the current government. Okay, but it was enough to get it over the line. And the preferences, which I do not, seriously, shouldn't be happening. Well, this is what the majority of Australians wanted with their vote. I hope you naive, foolish or deceived voters will one day have the spine to apologise to your children and grandchildren for what you've done. That goes to anyone who did vote Labor. Let's pray that they get the chance to live a long and free life. I don't like their chances. Australia has agreed to pay 20% more to the WHO. $40 million of your taxes are going to the WHO. No debate, no vote, no say. Are you okay with that? Exactly, Shannon. Scandemic, yep. Michael in Melbourne here said, how much did the Albanese government give the New South Wales flood victims? They gave Indonesia $100 million frickin' dollars. Think about that and tell the flood victims, the homeless and the disadvantaged it was a good idea. Yeah, what's going on? We're having our North Carolina moment. Are we getting close yet? Are we there yet? MDT Lion said, breaking news, UK and Australia join forces to launch new nation, the People's Democratic Republic of Gaslightistan. London, Melbourne, in a groundbreaking move that experts are calling peak clown world, Keir Starmer and Anthony Albanese have announced the formation of a new transnational utopia, the People's Democratic Republic of Gaslightistan. Their founding principles, mass immigration, Marxist economics, judicial apartheid and mandatory pronoun compliance, enforced, of course, by unelected bureaucrats with rainbow lanyards and sociology degrees. Because they've got to give those, jobs to someone, and why not the sociology degree people? The real nut jobs. Sorry, I'm having a sip of my tea. We believe in strong borders, Starmer declared, while personally handing out welcome packs and prepaid debit cards at Dover. Meanwhile, Albanese nodded an agreement from his bunker in Canberra, where he's reportedly drafting legislation to criminalise mean facial expressions and support groupthink as a national policy. This is a joke, by the way, or satire. Jacinta Allen, but they are doing what they're doing, you know. Jacinta Allen, who inherited Victoria from dictator Dan and immediately tried to outwoke him, will serve as Minister for Urban Decay and Bicycle Lanes. Dan Andrews himself will be the nation's inaugural High Priest of gaslighting and pandemic nostalgia. When asked about concerns over rising crime, collapsing infrastructure and two-tier justice system, Albo clarified those aren't failures, that's equity. Starmer added, we don't believe in free speech unless you're a drag queen reading Marxist poetry to toddlers. That is protected by the Constitution we shredded. Critics of the plan were immediately labelled fascist, racist, climate deniers and probably domestic terrorists by tax-funded fact-checkers and far right-wing. Meanwhile, anyone still asking why housing, energy and basic competence are now luxury items has been told to simply check their privilege and learn Mandarin. Welcome to Gaslightistan, where the truth is hate speech and the economy runs on feelings. Holy cow. Yeah, oh shoot, I went too far back, guys. Whoopsie daisy. Let's get back to where we were. Oh my God. See how insane the news is getting, guys? Don't forget, you're watching a movie, all right? Don't forget, we're watching a movie. Okay, where are we now? We're close. Okay, Stevie Laws says it's far easier just to deport the third worlders who are actually committing the majority of knife crime rather than putting our people through these ridiculous measures. Amelia Wood said the police are making everyone leave Clapham Junction station, go through metal detectors as part of knife crime initiative. They're stopping and searching people who don't go through. Can they just do this? This is nuts. Everybody should be just walking on the other side. Right? Seriously. It is far easier just to deport the third worlders who are actually committing the majority of knife crime. Same here in Australia with machetes. Instead of banning machetes, why don't you ban the people that are using them? It's too easy. Why? Deport foreign criminals. Said the real story isn't he's been banned from Great Britain. No, the real story is that thousands and thousands of cousins wanted to see him and they were ready to pay for the privilege, and they're already aware of the hate he preaches. An Islamic preacher who claims it's lawful to have sex with the female slaves captured in war has been banned by Yvette Cooper after the Telegraph revealed his plans for a UK tour. Uthman ibn Farouk, a US preacher, was due to begin a speaking tour of London, Manchester and Birmingham later this month, waking the dead, returning from the darkness. He previously visited the UK last month. Okay, now he had thousands and thousands of people that were going to pay for the privilege to go and see this man. and listen to him say it's lawful to have sex with female slaves captured him more. In other words, what do you think that is? Non-consensual. Yeah, exactly. Cat Canada said deport him to Gaza. Leviathan said Toronto rapper C Reality performs a song while wearing a kefir, whatever it's called, about how much he hates Canada, America and Israel by calling them colonisers, occupiers and genociders, all while living in the comfort of Canada. Wow, I'm not going to play it because I'll get copywritten for it. I don't think I need to. I'm pretty sure anyone in Canada maybe knows who he is. I don't know. Laura Loomer said there's still time to deport Z's daughter. She lives in Massachusetts and she's being guarded by PLA security guards. She went to Harvard. I'm back and forward with Laura Loomer. I just don't know. So I'm just going to read things that I do agree with her. Harvard protected the daughter of the leader of a CCP and they want your tax dollars to subsidise their CCP infiltration of America. She also said if Xi Jinping is going to play games with President Trump, then real Donald Trump should deport his daughter, who studied at Harvard and lives in the US. I wonder why she lives in the US. Is life hard under Daddy? I just got to check my phone to make sure no one's sending me any messages telling me my mic's off or gone or something. No, it's cool. Okay, we're good. Okay, Dave, prosecute and deport. Lisa Rosen said Muslim preacher in Britain said Muslims came to Britain to destroy its culture and identity from within in order to impose Islam and Sharia laws. Should immigrants who openly advocate for the destruction of their host country get deported? Yes, of course. This shouldn't even be a question. Why are we even asking these questions? Why? It should be obvious. But then, we've got to wake people up, so yeah. I don't think I'm waking anyone else up. I think I'm just preaching to the choir here, but hey, we'll keep going. Deport foreign criminals, said bloody Bedford men. A Bedford man was convicted of manslaughter after fatal stabbing. Whoops. See how they're phrasing it now? A Bedford man. Yeah. That really looks like an Englishman. Okay. Vivid said, I can't wait for Donald Trump to deport these efforts to Gaza. The Free Palestine movement is the most anti-American movement in history. They make me sick. Yeah, they do. Look, this is like Antifa and BLM all over again, but now it's Palestine. And the same as the climate crazies. Now they just focus their attention on Palestine. Same people, okay? Just so you know. Deport foreign criminals, said these bloody Englishmen. Nigerian Chinneer Amala, 29, allegedly carried out the essays at an undisclosed location in the city. A man from England appeared in court today charged with raping a woman in Belfast. Do you see how they are phrasing it now? You can't tell now. Unless you read their name or they put their name in there. Okay, see how they're doing this? That's how they do it. Barron said federal judge Stephanie Haynes, who's just ruled President Donald Trump's use of the Alien Enemies Act to deport criminal illegal aliens is legal. Thank you, Judge Stephanie. We've got a good one. Finally, someone sensible. It's not hard. It's common sense. Okay, then I've got this. What's this? Okay, by the way, this same logic applies to Harvard endowment, which is the State Department effectively synchronises policy with, maximising the returns of the Harvard Corporation, and then the people inside our government who do that synchronising then get cushy Harvard sinecures after? For example, both Samantha Power, who synchronised Biden USAID policy with Harvard endowment investment interests, and Jake Sullivan, who synchronised Biden state DOJ and CIA policy with Harvard endowment investment interests, both landed cushy Harvard jobs right when admin ended. Everyone usually pays attention to this revolving door and mutual back scratching between big government and big business, and have no idea this is the relationship between big government and big university. So we know about the revolving door with big businesses. Now we've got it with universities as well. In 1995, the Deputy Secretary of State under Bill Clinton said the US State Department tries to synchronise US foreign policy at the State Department with George Soros. Soros favours relationship with the US State Department in Romania. Even Elon Musk has gone, wow. Wow. This is getting pretty big. Should I play this? It's only 12... how long is it? 34 seconds. Okay. I'm going to play it.
Strobe Talbot told the New Yorker in 1995, "It's like working with a friendly independent entity, if not a government. We try to synchronize our approach with Germany, France, Great Britain, and with George Soros." This is the fucking Deputy Secretary of State saying State Department policy has to be synchronized with George Soros. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that an incredible quote? We have to synchronize our foreign policy with George Soros because he's got the money to make it happen, and his network and his banker friends.
Wow. Then we've got a 22-minute one here, which I'm not going to play, but you get the idea, okay? Soros favours relationship with the US State Department in Romania. Far out. How deep does this go? So deep. Okay, C3 said... hang on. Yep, okay. C3 said, follow along, we are taxed. Taxes go to USAID. Leftists create an NGO. NGO is funded by USAID. Leftists in NGO do zero real work. NGO pays leftists huge salaries, to make them rich and buy the cars and the suits that guy had above. Leftists donate salaries from NGOs to Dems via Act Blue. It's why Dems freaked out over Doge, USAID and Act Blue. Simple. And that's how easy it is. Brady said one of the major reasons behind the political instability in Bangladesh was this dumb lady who was sitting on the lap of Obama and Hillary Clinton. She bought all the US deep state organisations like USAID, ActionAid and BARC and other NGOs in Bangladesh who offered their assistance in developing textile industries, poverty alleviation, etc. They also helped Bangladesh in booming cheap textile exports, but their real motive was political subversion, exploiting Bangladesh's strategic location, India's neighbourhood and Bay of Bengal, aiming to create instability in India's northeast. In the meantime, they created a strong parallel political ecosystem, and within 5 to 6 years of time, these NGOs became mainstream and dominant in Bangladesh and went close to her opponents like BNP and Jamaat. When CIA asked her for St Martin's Island to set up a military base to maintain their presence and range of maritime activities in Bay of Bengal, further their motive was to create instability in India's northeast and grand strategic objective to carve out a country from India's northeast, Myanmar and Bangladesh. She realised that she had already fell into the trap and she reached out to the Indian agencies for help. Now she's sitting here in India. This lady. Sold out, love. Sold out your own people. Look at that. Huh. Did it make it worse for the Indian people? Is that why they're all fleeing? I don't know. Salty Texan said the president of Moldova, May Sandu, has been accused of embezzling over $2.5 million out of USAID money. The cleaning for the money was done by laundering through a network of shadow NGOs inside the country, according to allegations from the mayor of Moldova's capital. Oh, wow. I'm going to try and read this. I should try and play it and see are they speaking English or do I have to read it? Let's have a listen.
Chisinau Mayor
Oh, someone is speaking over the top, okay.
Ryan Sieben has publicly accused Moldovan President Maya Sandu of embezzling $2.6 million in foreign aid provided by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. Sieben, who is also a leader of National Alternative Movement, one of Moldova's opposition parties, claimed that USAID funds, allocated in late 2024 for energy infrastructure, were illegally diverted through presidential advisory networks and shadow NGOs. According to Sieben, the funds never reached the destination. It appears the money was transferred under emergency funding provisions, bypassing competitive procurement protocols and evading oversight. It was foreign aid meant to modernize our energy infrastructure. Instead, it was siphoned into political machinery controlled by the presidency, Sieben said. The mayor's office alleges that the $2.6 million in question was a part of a new assistance package announced by USAID Assistant Administrator Aaron McKee in September 2024. Over the past 30 years, Moldova has received nearly $2.5 billion from USAID. In 2024, USAID poured $310 million into Moldova, a staggering amount for a nation of 2.5 million people. This includes $22 million for inclusive and participatory political process. In January 2025, a 90-day pause was initiated on all U.S. foreign development assistance programs to conduct a comprehensive review. Should these embezzlement allegations be substantiated, it could further erode U.S. confidence in Maya Sandu's governance of Moldova and severely jeopardize efforts to restore USAID funding.
Yeah, she's smiling a lot because she's happy. She's getting a lot of money.
Chisinau Mayor Ian Sieben.
Whoop, she's getting a lot of money, so she's smiling a lot there. Hosner said, I have questions. Who's buying? Harvard is the centre of a maelstrom. Obama, Clinton, Powers, Pritzker, USAID, H Law, H Kennedy Centre, Harvard Kennedy Centre, Harvard Law. DEI in our schools, Harvard is the source. Head of Harvard Hospital morgue pleads guilty to selling human body parts. And there's that 11-minute video that Harvard is not what it seems. And they're pretty much actually, it's about here where it gets really, really interesting. Like, it's interesting, but I've read the bit already. So let me just see if I can get over here somewhere where he starts getting really interesting. See if I can hit it.
The very least quasi-violent action, but it's all done through orchestrating mobs. And Erica Chenoweth and Maria Stefan, both at the Harvard Belfer Center, have been so-called scholars in this space. These are these operators who masquerade as being researchers. So they write white papers, they write academic literature on the science of how to organize a riot. How do you mobilize youth engagement? What messaging works? And then they also hold
Mike, we're coming up against a
programs.
break, so I'm going to hold you there. I know the audience is going to kill me. We've got to go to commercial break. I'm sorry. Mike Benz, I think we still got you. If you can sort of walk us through, again, this idea that it's President Trump who is going after Harvard, that's victim blaming. He's the one that has been, the MAGA movement, assaulted by this institution and its kind for years. Pick up where you left off.
Harvard is not a university, it's a business. Harvard University is run by a 12-person board through the Harvard Corporation. The Harvard Corporation is what runs Harvard University. And the head of the Harvard Corporation is Penny Pritzker. Penny Pritzker was previously the chair of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. If that sounds familiar, it's because that's the organization that was run for 7 years by Bill Burns, the man elected by Joe Biden to be the head of the Central Intelligence Agency. Harvard is essentially a foreign policy tool that merges financial markets with intelligence and statecraft to impact global policy, foreign policy, and the domestic drivers of foreign policy, which include running out a president who might oppose a foreign policy that interferes with Harvard's bottom line. Harvard invests deeply and has since the Cold War ended. Harvard has been deeply invested through the Harvard Endowment in seizing Eurasia from Russia, which puts Harvard directly at the center of Russiagate. In the 1990s, everyone can look up a great article called "The Harvard Boys Do Russia," or any deep dive you want to go down on a little place called the Harvard Institute for International Development and its role in privatizing and stealing the wealth of Central and Eastern European countries, and particularly Russia, during the 1990s. And if that name sounds familiar, the Harvard Institute for International Development may sound a little bit like the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. Harvard had its own USAID cell that got $500 million from USAID to be the long arm of USAID to loot the economic wealth of Russia in the 1990s in tandem with George Soros. Harvard was doing the dirty work of the U.S. government by putting its economists over there, by putting its liaisons over there, by building up a giant network over there, midwifing that process. And in return, the Harvard endowment got non-competitive bids and private access at fire sale prices to the publicly held wealth of foreign countries. They did the same thing in Ukraine. They did the same thing all over Central and Eastern Europe. If there is neutrality with Russia, all of those assets and investments are threatened to go in the tank. Now, because the Harvard senior leadership and elite class has been completely merged with the CIA, the State Department, and the Defense Department, and USAID for 7 decades now, there has never really been an inch of daylight between what Harvard has called for and what the Bush family or the Biden family or Obama family called for. As I mentioned, Penny Pritzker. It was the Pritzker family in Chicago that spawned Barack Obama. What I'm getting at here is Harvard, through virtually every cell, from the Belfer Center to the Kennedy School to the Shorenstein Center to the Kennedy Center to the Berkman Klein Center, every single one of these is chock full of programs that go directly against, in fact, set up whole training modules and global networks to stop the agenda of the very government that is funding them. These people, we people, voted for that government. We are not voting to send our dollars to Harvard any longer. And on that, just one last thing, because we mentioned Erica Chenoweth and Maria Stephan and these other mob violence organizers. They were tightly involved with the Tesla takedowns. So while Harvard is getting $9 billion of your tax money, these people are glorifying and strategizing, actually helping strategize the direction of what is effectively, and I don't mean to throw this term around so I can try to soften it, but something somewhat adjacent to domestic terrorism. Arson, intimidation, destruction of private property, all for the political purpose of removing someone who isn't even the president from being able to advise the president. This is the sort of stuff that Harvard does because Harvard builds these networks. They serve as a CIA back channel, a State Department back channel in foreign countries so that when we topple the government of Yugoslavia and then those same financial and corporate investors gobble up those assets, Harvard endowment invests in those companies. So Harvard has these trainees and spawns and faculty members and professionals in their centers and institutes who organize these riots to topple governments so that the new government will be pliant and give everything to the corporations Harvard invests in. It's a giant racket, and we can't let them do that to our own country like they've done to dozens of countries around.
So CIA, Harvard, and Soros. Very, very interesting. Overthrowing governments around the world and interfering in your own. Wow. Oh no, don't worry about Shannon Lucette, please. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Lucette, don't worry about it. God love you. Eric Conservative Call in Cali, X, said Marco Rubio reveals just how little USAID funding was helping the needy. During testimony before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee on Tuesday, Rubio revealed that the White House discovered a foreign aid regime that was distracted and inefficient. Only 12 cents of every dollar was spent by USAID has reached the recipients. I'd even question that. Seriously. I don't even think 12 cents went there. Considering how many, oh, wow. Considering how many it didn't help anyone. Oh, except them, bureaucrats help them to get richer. Horizon said, if you look at Khalizad's record, it's obvious he's consistently backed extremist Islamists in Afghanistan like the Muslim Brotherhood. Through USAID and other aid NGOs, he's funneled support their way. Now it's the Taliban. The pattern's not random, it's deliberate. Holy crap, Rep Tim Bitchute exposes USAID used taxpayer money to fund radical terrorism. Is anyone surprised? And this is Australian Labor parody, by the way, not real Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister of Australia. It's a parody of him. R.I.P. to Zoe Daniels' political career. Fake, independent climate cultist and gendered ideology preacher. She apparently lost her seat. Lib's Tim Wilson reclaims Goldstein, ousting Teal Zoe Daniel. Thank God for that. These Teals, they're just like climate zealots in disguise. More about her. Bro said Zoe Daniels refuses to concede. She's hoping the AEC can find her 300 votes. Sounds like she's refusing the democratic results of an election. Sounds like an insurrection on our democracy. And apparently it's been counted 4 times already. Okay, they probably were hoping. The AEC was probably hoping she won. The full distribution of preferences in Goldstein, Victoria finalised today. The margin is 260 in favour of the Liberal Party candidate. A recount request is being considered and an announcement regarding that decision will be made when able. But apparently they've already counted it 4 times. And Avi Yamini said Zoe Daniel proudly lists her achievement for women but can't define a woman. You can't make this stuff up. Listen to the woman, okay? Listen to her yourself. She's a lefty crazy zealot. Okay.
What are your best achievements, top 3 achievements in the last 3 years?
43% carbon emission reduction being a floor, not a ceiling in the Climate Change Act. That was
Idiot.
An amendment that I put in. A whole range of gender equality measures that
Idiot.
I've put into legislation, into the Fair Work Act, so gender equality is now in the objects of that act. The National Reconstruction Fund, women have to be considered when government funding is allocated.
Idiot.
Jobs and Skills Australia, women have to be considered when we're building our skills base. Restoration of the single parent payment. This was something I went
Idiot.
out really hard on in the public arena to say the government should lift the payment for largely women who have children up to
And why not men who have children?
Job done, now legislated. Lots more work to do.
You seem to have done a lot of stuff for women, is that right?
Sure, and gender equality was one of my central issues
Idiot.
at the last campaign.
What is a woman, though? Can you define it?
Yeah, I think we're done.
She's done. She can't define a woman, but hey, she fought for women. She doesn't know what they are. The buck you will. I like that name. Are you still boycotting Tim Hortons? Timmy's destroyed what was once a vibrant donut ecosystem in this country. I don't know which country it is. Oh, it might be Canada. Foreign staff, horrible coffee, uneatable food, feces incidents weekly, homeless and junkie lounges. Tim Hortons' ownership and decision making is American, with about 60% of the publicly traded company shares held in the US. Timmy's is a Canadian company, as much as Mark Carney is a Canadian politician. Oh, I thought it was. Sorry. It's American. Holy shit. And they've destroyed it by foreign staff, horrible coffee, unedible food, feces incidents weekly, and homeless and junkie lounges. Lovely. And Fairy Megan said whiteness studies. Whiteness studies professor says white people who treat all races equally are dangerous. We can't win now. Okay? We cannot win. If we treat all our races equally, we are dangerous now. Work that one out. What about you, love? Hey, you're white. Do you not notice your own skin colour? Well, like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And this one, Mike Williams, Oz. This is why we need to train drivers properly and make sure they can read English. Word is this clown didn't understand that he was driving a long vehicle and didn't see the signs leading up to the pass. He was following his GPS trying to get around flooded roads. For fuck's sake. Mackenzie's Bridge. Karan's Creek, 14.5 kilometres. Warning, narrow road, unstable, unsuitable for long vehicles. And what did he do? Look. Look what he did. Can't read English and that's what happens. I saw one truck collect about 5 cars, mate. Didn't even stop. Just rammed through the lot of them. And apparently that was an Indian driver. But hey, what do I know? Senator Matt Canavan said New Zealand just dropped net zero. Why do we remain committed to this madness? Really? New Zealand, have you? I hope you have. New Zealand abandons Jacinda Ardern's net zero push. Country plans to expand offshore gas fields following disaster ban on oil drilling. Yeah, wait till we don't have any electricity during winter. Watch what happens. Elon Musk said population collapse is a massive crisis. Tesla owner Silicon Valley said birth rates are plummeting in a lot of countries. Population collapse is the greatest threat to civilization. Change needs to happen to save humanity. Okay, young ones, get going at it like rabbits, mate. Come on. Find a partner and hook up and, make sure it's the right partner, though. Jeez. See, that in itself takes time, okay? So you can't just go out having babies everywhere, you know? Like some people do. I mean, you know. But young people, get into it. Hello, you're young. Have babies. And then again, I've got something to read on Rumble that, you know, some people might think twice about it. Patricia Poulos said Australia is experiencing flood unprecedented in more than 500 years. These are not natural disasters. They are man-made, planned, meticulously implemented to destroy food, crops and animals, to eliminate food sources to humans, leading to starvation, death and reduced humans, right? But Rad said, who recorded it 500 years ago? Like, I want to know. Did the Aboriginals have weather stations? Did they record things? Did they measure? Did they have measurement apparatuses? Victoria said, I love a sunburnt country, a land of sweeping plains, of rugged mountain ranges, of droughts and flooding rains. I get your point. They may tell us it's a 1 in 500, yet we all agree it's really about control, fear and population reduction for nothing more than greed and evilness. And LCHF Matt said, hey, Patricia, Exhibit A is a photo of cliffs along the Murray River. Do you think it was average rainfall over the last 500 years that caused this erosion? I don't think so. To suggest a heavy rain event is unprecedented in 500 years is frankly childish. Okay? It's only because that's what they're telling people and people still believe it. Our history is a lie. Okay, they probably don't happen every 500 years. They probably happen every 5 or 50. Actually, I was watching one video where a guy said they happen for years in a row. You'll get flooding, it'll get worse, and then it eases off again. Now, Australian Patriots said, for fuck's sake, when are we going to stop pandering to these effing imports? Our country, our laws don't like it, don't come. The sentencing of a speeding Indian driver who killed an Adelaide mother of 2 has been delayed by claims he can't practice his Sikh religion in prison. Sikh, I don't care how it's pronounced. It's Sikh. Okay? Killer Indian driver sentencing delayed because he can't practice his Sikh religion in jail. Well, if you can't do the time, don't commit the crime, mate. And don't come to Australia. Please, go home. Send them home. Magga Down Under said, what the heck is Kamala Harris doing here in Australia on the Gold Coast? Well, apparently she's been spotted in Sydney now. Oh, dear God. Now, this I'll be reading over on Rumble because I don't think you'll be allowed to read it here. Liz Croken said Justin Bieber posted a video yesterday of himself eating a slice of pizza as Cassie Ventura took the stand at Diddy's trial. The video looks like it was taken from a surveillance camera, you know, like the cameras Diddy used to tape freak-off parties for blackmail purposes. Bieber was no doubt a victim of Diddy and has been exposing a certain gate and calling for justice for years. What did Diddy do to Justin Bieber, and did Bieber try to warn us that Diddy is involved in a certain gate, naming pizza? Justin Bieber's father-in-law, Stephen Baldwin, asked for prayers for Justin and Hailey Bieber yesterday as allegations of Jeffrey Epstein-type crimes continue to pour out against Diddy. Justin's mother, Patty Millett, revealed in 2023 YouTube video Justin Bieber's mum speaks out, ushering Diddy's impact on his life exposed. Diddy's inappropriate behaviour with his son. In the video, she claims Diddy offered Bieber cocaine, marijuana and alcohol at his parties. She said she was horrified and that she was forced to intervene in order to protect him. In one clip that's been widely circulated on social media, Diddy can be seen standing next to 15-year-old Bieber saying, "What we've been up to we can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream." In the below clip, Diddy had a 15-year-old Bieber stuttering when he pressed him for not wanting to hang out with him anymore, which I've shown in the past. Fast forward to 2020, Bieber released his Yummy music video where he's dining with a group of elites. Bieber posted photos of babies and pizzas on his Instagram back then to promote Yummy. Now compound all this with the allegations coming against Diddy and the fact that he was pals with Epstein's alleged child trafficker Rachel Handler. Remember Ray Chandler? Rachel Handler. Handling young people. It sure ain't looking good for Diddy. This is the pizza thing. Even the dog's got pizza on it. And Rachel Chandler. Rachel Chandler Guinness, her name is now, by the way. And P. Diddy wanting to hang out with, pressed him for not wanting to hang out anymore. And it got quite uncomfortable, which I've shown before. Okay. What's this one? I've done it. Okay, good. It's about 1 hour. There we go. An hour's worth of news. Okay, I was waiting for that. Chat always jumps, so let's go as far as we can back. Oh, near the beginning. Hello, out to lunch. There we go. Deb said, silly me, should have made a later physio appointment. Don't worry, I'll be lurking. That's cool, Deb. Meg Aussie, hey everyone, can't make it. Made it, can't stay long. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day, afternoon, evening. You too, Meg. And Shannon's here from the Riverland, South Australia. Alex is saying hello to everyone. My stomach's already growling. Yep, and Black Hat Music said, get on the right side of the road. Carl, how you going? And George, how you going? Yeah, Alex said, hope it all goes well, Deb. Kai said, much love, everyone, many blessings. Mood crash, so I'll be lurking. Oh, I hope you're all right. Alex said, oh, no, hope you're okay, Hev. Oh, yes, I'm okay. Guess what? It looks like my son's coming back. Yep. He went. He found out. He's coming home. Okay, so I'll be in a different room in a few weeks. Same house, different room. But, yeah, I didn't get much sleep last night. We were talking about it all, like, till nearly midnight last night. So, I haven't slept much. Just trying to organise everything. So, Alex said, looks like he's wearing a Mason apron. Alex said, just looked again. It's a booklet, lol. George said, I was just about to say it looked like a book, Alex. Deb said, thank you, Alex. I managed to put the bone in my neck, back in myself, but still need acupuncture. God love you, Deb. Alex said, George, I had to take a second to look and see it properly. George said, hi, Deb, that sounds painful. No, actually, acupuncture is very, very good. Although, yeah, the neck, putting your neck back in, I don't know, that sounds painful, definitely. Alex even said, yep, sounds painful. Prayers for you, Deb. And Dealey's in here. Where did I? Oh, yeah, there. And Geoloft as well. I think I said hello to you guys before. And Paranormal Oz I said hello to. George, how you going? Alex said, that's so dangerous, will probably cause more accidents. Deb said, no pain anymore, I'll put it back in. Well done, Deb. Paranormal Oz, hi, Deb, poor thing, sorry about your neck. George said, there's no way Starmer will start drilling. Yeah, well, people are now calling for him to be, chuck him out. Paranormal Oz said, proud of you setting your neck back. Ouch, yeah, imagine that. Far out. Alex said, Britain is in the shitter. Shitter's full. Merry Christmas, shitter's full. Alex said, Starmer is a treasonous traitor along with the rest of the corporate gov. He's all about Davos. Yeah, I remember playing that the other day. And I've played it before, but I just, played it the other day. Alex said, Carney, I think. That's it. George says, Starmer needs removing. He's a dangerous scumbag. Aren't they all? Alex said, another traitor and criminal. Alex said, for sure, I always knew he would turbo speed up the downfall, George. Shannon said, dishes are done. Hello all. How you going, Shannon? Alex said, the police need to actually start investigating real crime like rape, murder and other horrendous things like that, not nitpicking on hurty words. Exactly. Those hurty words. How dare they? How dare you? You ruined my life, my future. Oh, my God. I mean, seriously, it's like water off a duck's back, mate. You've got to let these words just go. George said, Starmer's a Marxist. Yep. Shannon said, Starmer is a plaything of the elites. Definitely. Shannon said, g'day Windows and Spooky Oz. Alex said, still stuck back in 600 AD. Del said, good evening, truth speakers and truth seekers from London, broken London. Boils my... Yeah, it would. Del, I'm like that here. It's just insane, unbelievable, that it's taking so much for people to wake up. That's what it is. I'm amazed it's taking so much, like so long. But anyway, it does. It takes what it takes. George said, so Derby has a terrorist mayor, lol? Apparently, yeah. Del said, Alex tips hat, ma'am. Always a pleasure to see you. Smiles like a rogue. Alex said, plenty of them taking over now, George. Everyone's saying hello, Del. Del said, Paranormal Oz, indeed, g'day, Aussie cousin. Pentridge meant to have chop chop ghost, lol. You never know. Paranormal Oz said, what really were you here about that, Del? And Del said, Grazi for asking, I'm good, thanks, Alex. Keep dancing till the music stops. Yeah, just keep moving, one foot in front of the other till we drop. That's how I'm living. One foot in front of the other till I drop. Is Timmy around? Hopefully he joins us, but, you never know. Timmy may have had an emergency. Okay, Del said Paranormal Oz on Aussie News Report maybe 2 years ago. They built flats but some kept including his old cell. They do tours, was on tour and voice Get Out. Wow. Yeah, Paranormal Oz said, wow, that's cool. Del said, Paranormal Oz, reckon be on YouTube, mate. Pentridge, Ghost, Chop Chop, made UK Brecky TV too. Cool. Paranormal Oz said, crazy, I'll check it out, Del. Shannon said, follow the money. Yes, always follow the money. That's how you get everywhere. Get to the bottom of things. Del said, Paranormal Oz, I reckon Ray Chuck shot in Melbourne court must not be at rest and be there also, mate. More things in heaven and earth. Paranormal Oz said, yeah, I reckon Chop would rather haunt shit than move on. Yeah, he probably would. He's that type of guy. George said a lot of these people will have Swiss bank accounts and offshore accounts. I was watching something on Switzerland yesterday where part of the mountain is falling onto it's collapsing, and there's a little village down below. I can't remember the name of it. I was also watching things on RVs, and I hope Timmy's RV's okay. The way they make RVs these days, I'm not sure. I don't know. Some of them seem to have a lot of problems. Oh, shit. Oh, God love you.
Tim RR tipped $150. I've been lurking in the background. I did tune in a little late. I'll be joining tonight. I was about to ask what the subject matter will be.
It will be is it DMSO or DSMO? Whatever that one is, and something about having babies in hospitals, and I want your opinion on it. And thank you so much, Timmy. You're a legend. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering where you were. I was thinking, I'm getting a bit nervous. I can't see him in the chat anyway. Because I got one chat that's going on what is happening now, which is Streamlabs, and then I've got this chat here, which is showing me what I'm reading. So, yeah, I was starting to think, I hope Timmy's around. Oh, God love you. Thank you so much, Timmy. I really appreciate that right now, and you don't know how much. Okay, where are we here? Oh, yeah, I was talking about the Swiss mountains. That's right. And RVs. Timmy, I don't know. I've got something to show you when we get on Rumble about RVs. I've been watching some videos this morning and it's like, whoa. Oh, whoa. Dell said, resist, replaced, infiltrated and assimilated, then decimated. Planned murder of us all will be South Africans soon. First they came for. Yep. I used to play that all the time on Facebook. Post it all the time. First they came for, until finally they came for me and there was no one left to speak up for me. Shannon said, scandemic, you mean? Yep, exactly. George said, the world we live in is a big scam. It is, the whole thing, including our real estate. Shannon said, sham mix, shandemic, yep. Deb said, I'm still waiting for the promised money from Albo. Yeah, where's me 270, what is it? Or $280 for my electricity bill. Shannon said, F you autocorrect. Oh, because the shamed mix one, when you want shamdemic, yep. Shannon said, yep, for autocorrect. Alex said, forcing the people to give up their land. Alex said, can autocorrect be turned off? I don't know. It used to be able to be. I don't know if it still is. Shannon said, I would have thought if Deb would have her glam picture up. Dell said, W3 Paranormal Oz, especially as they built a lot of yuppie flats over that bad vibe place. Ooh. Alex said, that's why I don't like typing on my phone. Autocorrect can get very irritating, lol. It can. Alex said, beautiful pictures, Shannon and Deb. Del said, I'm Spartacus Starmer. Alex said, did you see if your parents got your package yet? I forgot it was bank holiday weekend, Deb. Deb said, another auto pen may be Miss Chopsticks in charge with the fart travel. Deb said, oh my God, any time now, the suspense is killing me, Alex. Shannon's called it Spartacus. Alex said, oh, I'm sure they will love it when they get it, Deb. Del said, UK rape's through the roof. Yeah, and it's not, they're saying that an Englishman this or, you know, this suburb, using that like saying this, you know, for example, this Dover man, you know, or whatever, did this. Yeah, but, you know, God, I'm getting all these notifications. Shut up, phone. Okay. Deb said, who said that putting lipstick on mutton? Yeah, doesn't make it a lamb. It's like lamb dressing as mutton. Sorry, mutton dressing as lamb. Had it round the wrong way. Alex said, wow, Yvette Cooper actually banned someone. George said, Islam has no respect for anyone. Shannon said, fake news, Debs. Alex said, maybe they're realising what total shit pit the UK is becoming. Yep, Deb said, I've asked that she helps me get into a nice makeup I can do myself. Now I'm nearly senior citizen. Yeah, minimal. Minimalistic makeup. That's how I travel anyway. As minimal as possible. Deb's laughing at Shannon. Shannon said, we see the real you, Debs, and love you. Geoloff said, speaking of corrupt religious leaders, look up who's the lead and what his role is in the movie called The Rally LA. Okay. Deb said, thank you, Alex. Might be a day longer. It's good to keep me in suspense. Shannon said, same actors, different roles and script. There you go. I swear we're watching a movie. They're like, this cannot be, none of it's real. And that's why I'm not listening to the government when they say, oh, they're going to do this or they're going to, oh, too bad. You have to lock me up because I don't care. Deb said, well, Pope, whoever has shut the door on the LGBABC club. George said, Pope Leo. Deb said, Q, common sense isn't common to everyone. Yeah, it's not, unfortunately. And surprisingly. Alex said, we can usually tell when they don't say, usually just say something like manhunt is underway or something, but never give anyone any clues as to who to look out for. Yeah, because they don't really want them caught. They want them running amok in our country. Deb said, yes, I know his name, George. Alex said, no, it's not, especially these days, Deb. Del said, seriously, UK will have civil war at this rate of knots. Yeah, I hear you. Shannon said, you are free TV, just did a good one on Pope Leo on Rumble. Really? Deb said, I like being facetious. Cheeky. Alex said, interesting, thanks, Geoloft. Del said, Starmer caught over rent, boys, we're trying to get him out. Yeah, that's it, trying to get him out. Deb said, that's what she said, it's getting big. What? Shannon says, Starmer's a rent boy. Alex said, I also heard he turned a blind eye to child abuse before he became Pope, Deb. George says, Starmer's a rent boy of the EU and the WEF. Geoloff said, Alex, it's the 2016 release you're looking for, Rally LA. Alex said, was that the ones who were getting caught setting things on fire, Del? Shannon said, natural flavour equals chemicals. Deb said, Mead Rack Boys, a book on what the English Parliament, etc. have been doing with children. Oh, no. Alex said, Kenneth Copeland, Geoloft? George said, I've heard about that book, Deb. Alex said, he's a demon for sure, Geoloft. Yep, Geoloft said Alex for sure. Deb said, Alex, oh, God love you.
Timar tipped $50. DMSO is correct, C2H6OS, the solvent I'm presuming, and my RV is a fifth wheel built in 2014. I bought it from an estate sale and it's solidly built. Newer ones are trash,
especially if it's a motorhome. Mine is a tow behind the truck type and excellent. Good. I'm glad you bought it when you did, Timmy. Because the ones they're making now, oh my God. I don't know if they've popped up on your recommended on YouTube, but I don't know, I got recommended this RV video this morning and I watched it and I was like, brand new. And they're awful. They're leaking. They've got like carbon monoxide poisoning going through the whole thing. Nothing's hooked up properly, wheels and shafts and everything. Oh my God. So I'm glad, Timmy. Yeah, no, it's DMSO. Yeah. I just keep getting the letters around the wrong way. People used to link it with MMS. And also just, having babies in hospital and how it may be dangerous. I don't know. We used to have them at home. Okay. Deb said, Alex, so evil you just couldn't understand that people could see this evil or be this evil. Alex said, a lot of these super churches are so full of corruption, Geoloft. George said, Sonia Poulton did a documentary about the pedos in Parliament. Yeah, I remember that. Alex said, I know he's a horrible bloke. I remember him drinking his own blood on stage, Deb. Shannon said, if by a lot you mean all, Alex? Deb said, all the evil clubs have a pact. They never tell on each other no matter what. Alex said, I've seen that. Parliament is full of them and have been for decades. Deb said, very sad, George. What the author tells us about the book. Geoloff said, Alex, Big Box Church is a full-time NWO operation. Alex said, absolutely. So many people are brainwashed by it too, Geoloft. Deb said, watched, not what. Okay. Gee, sounds like autocorrect's getting everyone. George said, okay, Deb, is interview with the author on YouTube? Deb said, yep. Alex said, see if you can post a link or I can try and find it if you give me the title, etc., Deb. Deb said, shit, it was a while ago. I'll have to look for it later and send it to you, Alex. Lucette said, I'm so late. And Shannon said, late fee. And that's when I said, Lucette, don't listen to Shannon. Oh, God love you. Deb said, I see and hear so much horrific stuff that people will be learning about, and it's a slither of the information that's coming. Geoloff said, Alex, the enemy spends millions to make billions off of good people being seduced by carefully crafted personalities. Oh, yeah. Alex said, is the one on the Children Matter channel, Deb? George said, no, late fee, stand in the corner. Lucette said, Shannon, I'm broke. Alex said, never too late, missed you all on Friday, Lucette. Deb said, hello, sweetie, never too late, Lucette. And Shannon said, was only kidding. Deb said, the corner is for Shannon. And Shannon said, I own the naughty corner. Deb said, Shannon's now paying for all the late people in chat today. Lucette said, George, I'm standing in the corner of my bedroom now. Deb said, I bet you have, Shannon, all your life. I know, I was there too. Alex said, there's one on here, 1 hour, 35 minutes, getting to know Michael Taraga. Do you think that's the one? There's another by James English, but he's just been done for beating his girlfriend, Deb. Shannon said, that's why I can see through all their bullshit. Lucette said, Alex, I was so exhausted on Friday, I had to go to bed instead of coming on the live. Alex said, oh, bless you, I'm glad you made it tonight, Lucette. George said, I did watch James English interview Ali Campbell and Astro. Alex said, I will link the 1 hour 35 minute one under the Children Matter channel, Deb. Deb said, bullshit. She got a dick. Alex said, getting to know Michael, the boy behind the meat rack boy. Oh, wow. Thanks, Alex. Shannon said, if women do the same work for less money, why don't companies only hire women? Exactly. Exactly, Shannon. And women tend to take the less, what do you call them? The less paying jobs too. Like, you know. Hey, I don't know. I don't know how people don't understand that, Shannon. Carl said, Tim Horton is Canadian. I saw in Singapore it's gone downhill. Deb said, thank you, our beautiful Alex. Carl said, they have the homeless open the door wanting tips. What? Alex said, probably crazy world when they can't even say what a woman is. Alex said, that's the interview link above, George. I'll watch it tomorrow. Looks interesting. Deb said, it's a different interview, but it's the same man and story. He was a lot younger when the book came out. Shannon said, it's okay to hit stuff in trucks except sacred cows when you're an Indian. Deb said, yes, their foot, us, a good measure, is a good measure. Alex said, I didn't want to share the James English one, but I think there are a few, Deb. Dell said, weaponised weather on the people, more Vikings born, less Saladins, please. Shannon said, seek. Alex said, I prefer longer podcasts too. Deb said, okay, me about to start lurking. Cool, Deb, yep. Alex said, no worries, hurry back to us, Deb. Dell said, did he? You better freaking believe it, Graper and Sons, yeah. Lucette said, the pizza one should be in the news again. We need to hear all about James Elephantis and Comet Ping Pong and John Podesta. Yep. Exactly. Dell said he adopted 2 white 14-year-old girls. Oh, shoot. It jumped. Okay, I'll go back. How far back? Holy Grockamole. No, it's down here somewhere. We're down here. We're not that far back. Okay, we're here somewhere. Okay. He adopted 2 white 14-year-old girls who IRT that fly, sick waltz. Bieber was molested by him 100%. Alex said she allowed a 15-year-old son to stay the weekend with a 30-year-old man known to be a wrong'un for years, Bieber's mum. So many of them allow their children to stay with monsters. Yeah, exactly. You should never allow. Hey, J1, how you going? Yeah, don't let your kids out of your sight to go and stay at some stranger's place. George said, for money and fame, Alex. Alex said, they look so uncomfortable in that video, Del. Alex said, oh, that's great news about your son coming home, Hev. Yeah, I know. Excellent. Hey, Jim, how you going? When Deb said lurking, you got my attention. Lol, hi to all. How you going, Jim? Del said, Alex, so nuts that child services donor it. He pregnated them and made them terminate. Total sick monster. Shannon said the umbilical cord was stretched but never cut, Hev? Yeah, well, it wasn't cut for a while afterwards because that's when all the good antibodies and stuff straight after you've had the baby apparently go into the baby from the umbilical cord. And Timmy can help me out with that. Shannon said Omega wants his old womb back. Yep. He's getting his old room back, yep. No, it's good because it's going to help both of us. So I can then, even if they do put the rent up slightly here, I can stay because I have help and he has help. And yeah, he realised how hard it was out there on his own. So he's gone, shit, help. Alex said, that's horrific. Poor girls, Del. Yep. Mrs. Out to Lunch, how you going? Hello, Hev and Chat family. Not everyone has liked Hev's page, so please give her a thumbs up, everyone. Stay safe. Thank you. God love you, Mrs. Out to Lunch. Alex is laughing at me. Shit is full. Merry Christmas. Shit is full. Del said, Starmer's a Ponzi. POF. Alex said, hey, Mrs. Out to Lunch. Fred loves Donna, and Donna loves Fred. Geloff said, you guys need to look into VO3. Get familiar with it. The war is here, but is it real? Get educated while we're at the edge of a new horizon. Alex said, don't see much of her at all now. She's an adult, Greta. How dare you, Thunberg? Yeah, exactly. Lucette said, have you covered Keir Starmer's gossip, the 2 Ukrainians and a Romanian male model setting fire to his properties? No. I'll have to go and look for it. Lucette. Shannon said, Greta's just a puppet actor. Yes, she is. George said, Greta's in the back of a police van. Alex said, I love that you have her on the back of the car on your avatar and StreamYard like Terminator, Shannon. Geloff said, Alex, just type it into YouTube. You'll find reviews and information on VEO3 AI generation. Adelaide's very moist, is it? Oh, good, because weren't you in a drought before? And then Timmy popped up, the legend Timmy, and Alex said, there he is, awesome. Shannon said, hope it's an EV divvy van. Everyone's saying, hello, Timmy. Alex said, I have some information on diabetes too. Hevmac and Timmy. Alex, we might have to arrange to have another stream with that one, I think, because that's the subject all on its own, that one, I think. So you could, feel free to call in today, but honestly, I think maybe hang off a little bit on that one because I think that'll be like a show on its own. And because I didn't get too much sleep last night, I won't be going too long. Sorry, guys. We'll go as long as I can. Shannon said, missed you on the weekend. Timmy had to leave to do daughter's birthday stuff. Oh, happy birthday to your daughter, Shannon. Alex said, yeah, may do another one later if you're free. Shannon, hope your daughter and wife had lovely birthdays. Shannon said, nope, I'm Arvo shift. Oh, wow. Good. You might be able to tune in more often. George says, Starmer's no gladiator. Kai said, had to point out. Shannon said, bye, Cobra Kai. Zena, how you going? Been lurking. Just wanted to say hi, Hev and Hevites. Kai said, every movie has a twist at the end. Bad guy gets away, the victims don't get saved, and everyone closes the prison gates by hand on themselves. Zena said, Starmer, farmer, harmer, karma. Good one, Zena. Oh, and awesome Timmy again. D. Lee said, I've seen that RV on YouTube the other day, Hev. Oh, did you? Yeah, one lady's helping people to raise awareness about this. Because I ended up watching 3 videos on RVs. I don't even have an RV. I don't plan on getting an RV, but geez, it was interesting. Kai said, D-Lee, sorry, it's been a shitty day. D-Lee said, the RV manufacturer and seller knew all the... They did. They knew about all the problems and they released it. And one lady bought the cheapest RV she could and it just freaking leaked and sent her to hospital. Wow. D-Lee said, no problem, Kai. It's been a shifty week here. I mean, yeah. Zena said, Hev, what time is the show with DSMO? I bought some but haven't mixed it yet. Need more info. It'll be very shortly. We're going to jump over very shortly. Kai said, if they can complete the plan, we'll be ashamed to be humans when the story's finally told. Oh, shoot. Where did the other one go? Here somewhere. I truly doubt they were honest with us. This may very well have been a distraction for us. The plan. Lucian has had a message retracted. Kai said, what person with any feeling would allow the human traffic to continue after learning about it? Well, I do think a lot of it has been stopped, and what we're seeing is it being shown. Zena said, Kai, they have tens of thousands of videos they still have to get off on yet. Alex said, I can't wait for it all to come out. Kai said they've only just admitted to the manipulation of time and space, the implications there. Yep. George said it's all about money and control, Kai. Zeta said it's going to be sad when we find out some of these people are our neighbours. Oh. Kai said, I was a 20 and back victim. Zena said, have one of those girls is missing, I think. Oh, are they? Zena said that Diddy adopted? That young girl? Oh, I don't know. Which one? Oh, wow. Kai said, including trips, displacements and restarts. I'm so freaking old, I hate breathing. Oh, Kai. Oh, I feel for you. Yeah, Shannon, I know you said womb. It's his room, okay? He's not going anywhere near a womb. Alex said, yes, so important not to cut the umbilical cord too soon. Yes. Kai said, and Xena, was it 20 years? I'm still doing the math for it. 20 minutes to years is hard. Xena said, I've heard that the cord needs 20 minutes to complete the transition. George said, Kai, we all want you breathing, mate. Yeah, we do. Xena said, unfortunately, Kai, breathing is the thing that keeps us alive. Lucky it's not in our control. Deb said, yes, we are having a dry spot. Kai, I don't know if I can read that. Xena said, hey there, Deb, hope you're well. Alex said, no worries, I still need to speak to Timmy about it to make sure everything's correct, Hev. Cool. Lisette said, Hev, Starmer and all the Rent Boy stuff, can't believe you missed it, lol. Geoloff said, I just saw a Howard Stern video from 1997 after Wendy Williams lost her radio gig in New York telling Stern all about Diddy. The parties, the gay get-togethers before a show formed. Interesting. Wow. Deb said, legend, our Timmy. He is. Whoops. Where'd I go? Here somewhere. Here. George says, Wendy Williams, a woman who fainted live on a show. Yes, she is. Zena said, Geoloff, did you see Wendy Williams' transcript when she testified? So proud of her. Alex said, love you, Kai. Stay strong. Sending love and prayers. Yes, definitely. Deb said, yes, I'm in the waiting room. Yes, she did, George. George said, Wendy Williams has crazy eyes. Kai said, watch the replay in slow motion and watch around her head. Zena said, Kai, so does Cash. Alex said, yes, she apparently ate crow shortly before she went downhill, George. Dealey said, everyone has high cholesterol, gets put on statins. Statins cause everyone to be diabetic. Allegedly. Kai, I have to say that, Dealey. Kai said she had recently actually eaten crow. The crow spirits attacked her for it. You can see the shadows flying through her head. Wow. Zena said, besides, you'd be nuts if you'd been locked up under guardianship for years. Innocent. George said, the crow is coming for Wendy Williams. Kai said, we wagon burners have a wide range of beliefs. Deb said, breathing could be consciousness. George said, crows are clever birds. Alex said, there's a video of a young girl in Diddler. He was making her say stuff. She looks so uncomfortable. It's probably on Twitter, Hev. Oh, the one with the little redhead girl. Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I reported on that a long time ago. Shannon said, may not have a choice. That cord may snap back like a snapshot. Okay. Thanks, Shannon. Alex said, yes, very clever most birds are, and a lot of them can talk, George. Kai said, crows are a go-between the spirit world, supposedly. Lucette said, Shannon laughed my ass off. GLF said, Xenotron, yep, she's been at the forefront of it all. Playboy 2.0, Diddy was the replacement for Hugh Hefner. Shannon said, Wendy saw those demons, lol, and glitched out, or someone said her MK Ultra trigger word. And Deb said, just because my doctor writes a script doesn't mean I'll use it. Statin, for example. Exactly. And with that, I'm going to leave it there, and we'll jump over to Rumble. Please join me over on Rumble in about 5-10 minutes, and I'll see you over there. Okay, guys, have a good one. Bye.